Alright, everything's green. And we're gonna go ahead and steal this barber pole. Alright, so what do we need? We need electrical tape? Is that the only tape we have? Good enough. Turns out I didn't have the right screwdriver.
Damn it.
Huh. Maybe it's this one.
Damn it. Okay. Damn it.
We need a straight slot screwdriver then.
Well, that didn't work. Yeah.
Okay. And that's it. We done did it, y'all. Having acquired the barber pole, you make your way back to the house. Such masculine. Much wow.
What do you people want from me?
Welcome to our order. The hand that grips the life is dead.
Yeah, apparently I have the wrong screwdriver. Control F4. Okay, that was odd.
Hello, dear. How are you today? Did you hear what happened at the barber shop? Someone broke into Pastorelli's salon and took his antique barber's pole. The next morning, Pastorelli touched some live wires that the thief left lying around and was electrocuted. Well, that darn foreigner got what he deserved, if you ask me, coming into a nice little town like Harvest and stealing business. Heavens, if a bowl and scissors were good enough for your father, I don't see why decent working folk need a fancy wop styling their hair.
Whoa!
That's how it goes. First you get a sissy trim, then bang, you're a communist. Isn't it exciting, Steve? 5 days and 1,200 cookies later, the bake sale is already here. Where does the time fly?
Those 1,200 cookies. How many are you taking to the sale?
Oh, about 20. The rest were stale. But the effort wasn't wasted. It's for a good cause. Will you be at the school tonight? That's nice, dear. It's good to be open to new experiences.
Don't you think it's odd Having a bake sale to pay for burying out-of-towners?
Gosh hooties, what should we do? Leave them in the streets?
Of course we should bury them. But why do so many out-of-towners drop dead in harvest?
I have wondered about that, and I think it has something to do with the air.
But there's nothing wrong with the air, it's perfectly clean.
That's what I mean. Big city folk, they get so used to smog that clean air is a shock to their systems. Gets them every time.
Bye.
Don't forget to put the papers out for Jimmy. You know how
Know
he
how
gets.
he gets. Alright, grab a paper for Jimmy. Where's that paper? There it is.
Hey, Steve, you've been doing a swell job putting the paper out in the morning. You just keep doing that and we won't have any problems. That's not much to ask, is it?
No, not at all.
And here it is, the object doll, imported Venetian glass and Italian dreams. You have done well. An unfortunate side effect that Pastorelli was electrocuted because you left live wires in a puddle on the floor. But as those with affectations of worldliness say, c'est la vie.
La vie.
Yes, a barber cut down in his prime. Of course, you only wanted the bowl, but that hardly matters now. Your final assignment is to set a fire in DNA's diner and let the French fry where they may. Yes, I suggest you succeed. Beyond that, you must find your own answers. Members of the Order must be resourceful and cunning. So must you be to become one with them. Tonight, the bake sale commences. Soon, the annual harvest blood drive will be at hand. When sacrifice will be the order of the day, your time in harvest grows short.
Alright, let's return to the scene of the crime. Oh man!
Think about taking some of that siding off my hands, son. I'll cut you a nice price on it. I was the one what found Pastorelli this morning, after he stepped in the water with the live wires hanging out. His body was so burnt his arms and legs was blackened, fused together, and the sheep was well done too. Problem is, both was burnt so bad, and the flesh all crisp and distorted, limbs melded, you couldn't tell 'em apart. And well, I didn't want to take a chance on eating Italian. No sir, I didn't. I tell you, the only thing worse than a fire station full of sissies is a fire station full of peeved sissies. They're all accusing each other of stealing some silk underwear or something. Boy, whoever said fighting fire with fire be happy in harvest. 'Cause we got a fire station full of flamers.
I'm gonna turn this up a bit. Alright. That's true. We do have a fire station full of flamers. I do think it's kind of weird that you're playing checkers next to her.
Nice to see you again, Steve.
There we go.
I can't talk now, son. I'm busy with this game. Dang it if the whole town ain't going to hell. Poor old Johnson, defecating a work of art like that. Well, that's a sure sign that civilization is coming to an end. I guess you heard that dang idiot Pastorelli went out and got himself electrocuted. Somebody stole a barber's pole. The alarm system triggered the sprinkler. There was water on the floor this morning, and the darn crook left exposed wires out. The Pastorelli came in, flipped the switch, and then zap! Maybe them aliens is hot for colored glass after all.
Alright, bye.
Anytime, Steve.
Okay, we're done there, I think, pretty much. Let's go talk to Stephanie. Let's talk to her dad first.
Did you say hello to your father for me? Thank God for that, at least. I could use some good news right now. I just got the word. The order turned down my latest application. Looks like we'll be having the wedding at Moynihan's after all.
You molested Karen and buried her alive.
Yeah, I know what that crazy little bitch said, but it's not true. I was at home that night. Mrs. Potsdam will vouch for me. Isn't that right, Mrs. Potsdam?
That's right, Mr. Potsdam. Hello, Steve. Care to stay for some pot roast?
Forget the pot roast, Mother. Pot roast isn't for backstabbers, for persecutors. I won't share my meat with him. My meat! My meat! Well, that's all right. Sorry I got so upset, Steve, but being a parent myself, well, just being accused of something like that, it's unthinkable.
Unthinkable?
Someone went and scraped up Johnson's car? Can you imagine?
Can you
He'd step
imagine?
in a bear trap and chew his own leg off rather than suffer a scratched tucker. Serves the rich bastard right, if you ask me. You know, with a slaughterhouse full of meat in town, what kind of nutcase would steal a barber's pole? Oh well, Pastorelli won't need it where he is. God rest his soul. Those silly willies down at the fire station are just incensed about losing some decorating stuff. Some people. Yeah. Maybe they should be more concerned with fire and less with flame.
Alright, bye. Nice talking to you. Wow.
Steve, it's so good to see you again. I get so lonely in here.
I'm sorry. Want to hear what's happening out in the real world?
No. I'd rather forget about Harvest for a while.
Stephanie?
I feel so close to you, Steve. Like we're the only two people in Harvest. The only two real people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I need to feel something again. This sense I have that I've known you. It's my only link to my past.
Yeah.
Maybe it's different than memory. Maybe we don't remember each other so much as we recall the feelings deep inside. Strong feelings.
Maybe the body has its own memory.
Let's find out. I want you. Make love to me.
Damn it.
Then take me. Now.
Better be. She puts on stockings every day? Tastefully covered nudity. Okay. I was worried for a second. I figured since it was morning and I was streaming a game, there was going to be accidental boobs. Let's go talk to the good people of Harvest.
It's not often that I get visitors.
What? You have nothing to say to me? That's cool. Maybe Mr. Johnson has some stuff to say.
Hello, Steve. How's the husband-to-be?
Other than having no memory, I guess I'm alright.
All right? You should be ecstatic, considering what you're getting into.
Getting
if you
into?
haven't gotten into it already.
I just got into
Speaking
it.
of which, I heard Stephanie was grounded. Her daddy's worried about getting his meat. So if I were him, I'd be more concerned about Stephanie getting some meat.
Right. And you are?
You always were a kidder,
You always were a
Steve.
kidder, Steve.
I'm Mr. Johnson, remember? Glad you stopped by. Just got finished waxing the Tucker. I could use a little relaxation. But since Edna's not here, I might as well talk to you.
I love this dialogue chain.
Edna Fitzpatrick is one of the snootiest women in town. I declare there isn't a woman in Harvest that turned me away. If I was interested, that is. Just because she owns DNAs, she's got all these highfalutin ideas about independence. And her with a little girl to raise. That child needs a father. And Edna, well, she needs a good, hard penis.
Penis.
What makes you so sure she needs a penis?
You saying Edna's getting it from someone else? Like maybe that damn Sheriff Dwayne? He's over at DNA's diner every day from noon to 1, eating his dadgum pie. And I got a feeling he'd like Edna for dessert. Sure, it's the only diner in town, but I'm sure he's got more on his mind than food. I'll admit DNA's diner does good business. But money isn't everything to a woman. Can money keep you warm at night? Can you wrap your thighs around it? Or rake bloody gashes in its back with your painted hollowed fingernails? Edna! Edna! So, how's Stephanie?
She was good.
Bye now.
Bye now. We'll save the... Anybody around at the fire station? No. We'll save the mortuary for later. Writing a bug report. Holy shit.
Boy, the way you keep pestering me, you'd think you were feeling guilty about something. Are you?
No.
I got a report here that someone put a ding on Johnson's Tucker. As ornery as Johnson is about that old car, I suppose he had it coming. I imagine it was just some kids pulling a prank. I'm nowhere near solving the Tucker case, and now I have to deal with a bunch of firemen throwing a hissy fit over some stolen cloth. Can you imagine? What the heck is going on around here? Looks like we've got us a mini crime wave on our hands. Just got a report about another act of vandalism. Maybe related to the Tucker incident and the fire station robbery. Someone broke into Pastorelli's barbershop and took his pole. Next morning, Pastorelli touched some live electrical wires that were left dangling, and zap, no more barber. What was just an act of vandalism has just become a case of manslaughter. I don't like it. Harvest used to be such a nice little town.
Such a nice little town.
Stop on by any time, Steve.
But you don't like it when I stop by.
Kiddo, you brought me any of them girly picture books?
No, sorry.
Oh, heck. Why should you be any different from the sheriff or Mrs. Loomis? Steve, I'd be right obliged if you could just see clear to bringing me just one of them books. Believe me, it'll be worth your time to do it. Everybody's so darn happy about that darn baked sale. Mrs. Loomis will be there.
What's up,
but
Kiernoff?
The sheriff always says I'm half-baked, so I reckon I got no business going.
Alright, bye.
Anytime, kiddo.
Alright, we'll go by the school and then go to the lodge. Let's see what Edna has to say.
I can't talk now. The dishes are stacked up and back, and I better take advantage of the lull. I've whipped up a huge batch of brownies for the PTA bake sale tonight. I just wish I could do more to help out those poor bums. Most of the bums that die in harvest lack the money for a good Christian burial. The proceeds from this sale will help Mr. Moynihan provide them with proper burial services.
Doesn't it strike you as funny that so many wanderers die in harvest?
No, it strikes me as sad. You have an odd sense of humor, Steve. I just heard that Mr. Johnson's tucker was vandalized. You know, though I don't like to think ill of people or take pleasure in the misfortunes of others, I'd like to think it's a comeuppance for all the times that nasty man has bothered me. Mr. Pastorelli was electrocuted. He's dead. It looks like some thief wanted his barber's pole but didn't think of the consequences.
Maybe it's what the guy had to do. Maybe whoever it was really needed that barber's pole bad.
That's no excuse for hurting someone else. Even if Pastorelli were alive now, his heart would be broken. And what's a little profit compared to that? I feel terrible about what happened at the fire station. Those firemen helped me decorate my diner.
Not much, just
I can't believe one of them stole that.
trying to finish this game.
It must have been someone else, don't you think?
I finally figured out why I was stuck. There was a screwdriver in the drawer at the diner, and I hadn't picked it
Seeing
up
you here
yet.
again, one would think you'd never graduated. Nostalgia is a waste of time, big guy. You need to move forward, and if you ask me, the lodge lies firmly in that direction. My breast just swells with pride whenever I think about the PTA's valuable service in this community. Hope to see you at the bake sale tonight. When I went to get my hair trimmed this morning, imagine my surprise when I learned that the barber shop had been burglarized. And worse, that Mr. Pastorelli had been electrocuted. Harvest mourns the loss of an irreplaceable citizen. All of us will feel the loss only with the passage of time.
Alright.
Drop in again soon. Adult education is a wonderful thing, as is adult quality time.
With the exception of that creepy bit at the end about adult quality time, he's pretty much every old man that went to every church I've ever been to as a kid. Alright, where's that barber pole?
And here it is, the object daub, imported Venetian glass and left live wires in a puddle on the floor, but as those with affectations of worldliness say, c'est la vie. Of course, you only wanted the bowl, but that hardly matters now. Your final assignment is to set a fire in DNA's diner and let the French fry where they may.
Okay. We gotta go over to the funeral home.
Damn it.
So weird that he's wearing the exact same thing I am.
Young man, we really have nothing to say to each other. I have the feeling your image shall soon adorn my slab, and I'd rather not know the face of the meat I'm slicing. It seems that, like some elephant's graveyard, people of low station come to harvest to die. They simply drop dead, penniless, and they all need burials. Like that corpse in the chapel, all dressed up and nowhere to go. No mourners, no point. But I still must provide them with prompt burials by town charter, and absorb the losses myself. God knows, by putting these people up at the Wayward Hotel, I do more than my fair share. So why must I pay for the coffins and burial materials as well? My losses to the dead are substantial. Hopefully the bake sale will offset some of them. I do hope you'll attend the bake sale and spend heavily. It's for the needy, you know.
Sure. And all they have to do to benefit is die.
A ditch makes a poor resting place. You'll need to learn that, if you ever want to leave Harvest.
You make it sound like I have a choice.
A choice that is rapidly vanishing. Join the lodge, Stephen, while you may.
Let's talk about that corpse.
The corpse reclining in the chapel right now is a prime example of the difficulties I face. For unfathomable reasons, this bum decided to wander into Harvest and summarily dropped dead.
Just like that.
Indeed. He died of purely natural causes. Of that I have no doubt.
But why come to Harvest to die? You say this happens often. Isn't that a little too much of a coincidence?
I've often puzzled over the situation myself, though I can assure you, young man, that nothing untoward is happening in Harvest. On the contrary, it's an indication of our compassion that I put up hobos in the Wayward Hotel, and the Order of the Harvest Moon mandates their prompt burial, even when they are without family or means, and when it entails losses on my part. I'd say it's been a pleasure, but I find the company of the living so wearisome. You can't have that, Stephen. I need it for my work. And may I say you're a rude young man for attempting to steal it.
I was only gonna borrow it.
Indeed. And have you anything I could hold as security?
About the fact that you lied to me about that corpse in the other room. John Doe?
I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
If he just dropped dead, where did all those slashes come from?
I don't know what slashes you're referring to.
They were there.
Do you have any proof of these wild claims? Any tangible evidence? If not, I suggest you leave me to my work.
Oh, well, how about I show you a picture?
I'd say it's been a pleasure.
Shut up.
Ah, you've taken up photography, I see. Now why on earth would you choose such a grotesque subject?
That John Doe you've got boxed up in the chapel? He didn't just drop dead. Someone helped him take the plunge.
You may be right. I'm a mortician, not a medical examiner.
You don't have to be to know that being ripped to shreds can be detrimental to your health.
This is not something you want to be looking into, young man. Got the goods, have you? You're in harvest, my young friend. Have you tried the road out of town yet? Do so and you may question exactly who has who.
Look, are you going to tell me what I want to know, or do I go to the sheriff with these pictures?
That would be a grave mistake, I assure you.
A grave
I've told you all I can. My losses have been substantial of late, so I can't offer you money. The only thing I can give you in exchange for the photographs is my tube of astro glue. I do suggest you take it, or it's all you'll get from me. A wise decision. When a wasp's nest is stirred up, it is seldom the wasps who grieve later.
Alright, that should end the daytime. Nightfall descends upon harvest. Alright, we need to go to the school. Did I go to the wrong part? Go to the school, enter the hall.
Buy some cookies? It's for a good cause. Mercy, what a terrible thing to say. Isn't it, ladies?
Yes, terrible.
Ah!
Buy some cookies? Derelicts and bums who wander into town who don't have enough money for a decent burial.
They deserve to be buried. It's the Christian thing to do.
That's awful nice of you. But why do so many derelicts and bums die in harvest?
Don't be such a wise apple, Steve.
Okay. The emergency exit doors are locked from the outside.
Ladies, someone has just burned down the TV station.
On the night of our bake sale?
Alright, well there's not much I can do here. Closed. Where's my glue? I should probably save here. Do I have matches? I do have matches.
Yeah.
This diner ablaze, your task is complete. You carefully make your way home to avoid any possible witnesses.
Welcome to our order. The hand that grips the life is Step.
All right. Same as the other days. Grab a paper. Actually, talk to Mom.
Hello, dear. How are you today? The nerve of some people burning down the TV station to detract from our bake sale.
I doubt the perpetrator did it just to annoy the Harvest PTA.
Coincidence? I don't think so. Just 6 months ago, the newspaper building went up in smoke. Obviously, there's a firebug on the loose. Either that or a communist. Steve, I'm so scared. Now that the bake sale's over, I just don't know how I'll fill my time. Oh, I feel so useless. My goodness. What's wrong with her? My goodness. Oh, it's not as bad as it looks. You just pop them back in. See? As good as new. That tarantula she ate must have had wasp eggs in it.
Don't you think we should get her to a doctor?
What for? She's got her mother. How silly I was, feeling useless just because there are no more cookies to bake. I can still rear my brood. This is a sign, Steve. I have a purpose again.
Glad to see you're feeling better.
Mind, that fire still burns my britches. First the newspaper building, then DNA's diner, then WHAR. I sense a pattern. And any pattern I can't make a dress out of is no darn good. I suppose you heard about DNA's diner burning down? Sheriff Dwayne thinks it was a grease fire. We took a black eye on the bake sale, but I'm sure the Harvest PTA annual blood drive will be more successful. Overall, we made about $200, hardly enough to bury a dead horse, and definitely not enough to cover the annual blood drive.
Annual blood drive, huh?
If you knew how much blood we get, you'd be more impressed. Donations are mandatory, Steve. If you're still here come Sunday, you'll be expected to give.
Until it hurts, I suppose.
Until it hurts. Even Hank will have to donate. Of course, lodge members are exempt. Remember that.
Hey, either way, no one's sticking me with a needle.
We don't use needles.
What lodge?
The Hall of the Order of the Harvest Moons.
We know
What's
all
so...
this.
Hard to say, since... That's...
Bye.
Don't forget to put the papers out for Jimmy. You know how he gets.
Well, I always was a kidder.
Hey, Steve, you've been doing a swell job putting the paper out in the morning. You just keep doing that and we won't have any problems. That's not much to ask, is it?
Alright, let's go to the TV station. Oh, here it is.
Say, can you spare a dime for a buckaroo who's down on his luck? The whole shebang just went up in flames, and I'm looking to mosey on to greener pastures, where the sunset's always golden, and there's always another savage to kill.
Okay. Well, that didn't work out so well for Range Rider.
I've tried so hard to find an excuse to keep on fighting. But Karen and I can't go on alone any longer. This diner he left us was all we had. It was always a struggle to keep it running in such a small town. And now we've lost it. I know that I can't afford to support us now. There's only one way out. I'm sure you won't be able to understand the depth of despair that would enable a mother to put a rope around her baby's neck and push her into the air and jump after her. I wonder if I'll hear her next now. If she kicks around and takes a long time to strangle, I'll scream, but I won't cut her down. I've got to be stronger than I ever was before. But I hope she doesn't get it. God help us and forgive us, Edna Fitzpatrick.
Well. Dude. Time and the place, dude. Time and the place. Let's see what Mr. Potsdam has to
Did
say.
you say hello to your father for me?
Yeah.
Thank God for that, at least.
Harvest will never be the same without DNA's diner. Or without DNA, for that matter.
Alright, bye.
I saw the TV station go up from my window. It lighted up the whole town. It looked like hell. I wished it would consume the whole damn place. And me with it.
Don't talk like that.
I'm sorry. I just can't stand it anymore.
I wish there was something I could do.
There he is. Make love to me.
Okay.
Do it to me. Now.
Do it to me.
Hello, dear. How... Don't forget to put the paper...
Already did that. I guess I should talk to her instead of just having sex with her every time I see her.
I'm glad to see you. I don't know if you heard or not, but Mr. Pastorelli, the barber, he's dead. Looks like somebody stole a barber's pole from him, then left the exposed electrical wires and some water on the floor. Pastorelli walked in, flipped on the lights, and... Know anything about that?
I'm gonna lie.
Mr. Swell came by. I heard him telling my father about it. He said it smelled like roast pork.
Well, these things happen.
Especially around here. I heard that DNA's diner burned down.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Did you torch it, Steve? This had the stamp of another Lodge initiation stunt.
Maybe so, but I had nothing to do with it.
Thank God for that. She hung herself, you know. And Karen. Can you imagine? Killing your own daughter? The despair she must have been feeling to do something like that? She must have felt there was no way to carry on after the fire.
Accidents happen.
It was no accident. The sheriff supposedly found evidence that the fire was set. Are you sure you didn't...
Would I lie to you?
No. I'm sure you wouldn't.
Alright, bye.
Come back and visit me soon, okay?
Hello, dear. Bless your innocence. But there are certain disgusting truths that go along with marriage. Facts that can't be disguised by sheets which wrap around the contours of flexing go-go's and bouncing legs. You can't know what I'm talking about, and that's best. When the time comes to make a baby with Stephanie, you'll have to make your peace with the fact that when a farmer plants his seed, he can't help but get some nasty dirt on his hoe.
Alright, Mom.
Don't forget to put the paper...
Let's go talk to Mr. Johnson. I bet he's suicidal.
Sorry, Steve. Too tired to talk right now. I just gave the Tucker a tune-up. I'll talk to you later. So Pastorelli's barber pole got stolen. Big deal. Now me, I know tragedy. Of course, Pastorelli got electrocuted, but at least his pain is over. DNA's diner burned down. What a shame. Women running things, that's the problem. If she'd had a man around, that fire never would have happened. What a waste. Damn terrible thing, that business with the TV station. I can't sleep now. Keep waking up in a cold sweat. I'm thinking of getting some fireproof aluminum siding for my garage. Think that's a good idea?
Sure. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye now.
DNA's diner is no more, as is Edna herself. She hung herself as soon as she realized what had happened to her beloved establishment. A true entrepreneur and a credit to her nation. Come now. Anyone who spoke with her for 5 minutes would have known what a tragedy the destruction of her diner would be. Still, you sought to torch her diner, and torched it is. You have proven yourself a worthy candidate for initiation. This was only a trial to determine your worthiness for testing. Your initiation into the mysteries of the harvest will soon begin. In the meantime, be patient. Protocols must be observed before initiation may commence.
How I recognize the sign?
You will know when you receive the invitation. Bring it here, and your initiation shall begin.
Alright, fine. I think I'm going to take a break in a minute, guys. Starting to get a little hungry for lunch. Let's So, yeah, that's what I'll do. I'm going to take a break for lunch for about 20 minutes. Hopefully not that long. And we will meet back here. Let's say we'll meet back here at 11:30. Just to be on the safe side. I'm going to leave the game exactly as it is. I'm not going to do anything. And then we will pick it back up at 11:30 my time, Central Standard Time, 11:30. See you guys in a bit.